The celebration of the 5-year anniversary of Needham boys volleyball's first state title continues this week with Part 2. After visiting their rivalry with Newton South in Part 1, Coach Powell and the boys remember the focus and camaraderie the group had. Plus, they touch on the sense of urgency they felt to finally reach the mountaintop and similarities they saw in this year's team.
It's interesting, it was Pat Robidoux. It was similar to you, Dukes, where it was his first year, and he had never really been around high school boys volleyball. And to kind of walk in the gym and see the competition level, because we had such a high-level team. And I think we were talking the other night, and this has been an interesting time because obviously during quarantine, you know, there's more time and you catch up with people maybe more than you normally would. But Pat and I were talking the other day, and he said one big thing he took away from it is, you know, we had every reason to kind of coast through that year and kind of be like, oh, we're playing, you know, so-and-so tonight. We're going to win 3-0 or we're doing this or, you know, but there was such a collective focus in this vision and this mission that everyone felt collectively. And I really think the big takeaway for a lot of people, and I think he said it, is, you know, you just don't know what's going to happen, so you can't take it for granted, and you got to work as hard as you can because you want to be ready for that moment.
It was an enjoyable time. Like the whole aura that surrounded going to practice and bringing in donuts for weekend practices.
Yeah.
Like just having these camaraderies that span a day. We still are a close bunch, and hopefully you can say that of any sports team, but I'm really glad that we can say that about our sports team.
Because of the way it ended, you know, if we had won one in 2013, I mean, most of these guys were super young. You know, like my third or fourth year at Needham, and, you know, we lost 3-2 to Agawam, and it was like 15-12 in the fifth set, and they go on to win the state title. And then the next year in 2014, you know, we fumble away a 2-0 lead, and Newton South kind of out-toughs us, and they go on to win the state title. Like Alex said earlier, it was kind of the gorilla on our back that we were just like, all right, like we need to get over this hump. And then once we did that, I think if we had won it in 2013, 2014, it obviously would have been amazing. I don't know if 2015 would have had that same feeling if we didn't go through that struggle of 2013 and 2014.
Yeah, and like as sophomores and freshmen in 2013, I did not understand the scope of what was happening when we went into that Agawam game. We were playing for a state semifinal, and it was just another game. It wasn't my last game ever. It wasn't my last season ever. It wasn't something that really weighed on me that heavy. And we had a chance to play for a state final. And as Powell just said, we go into the next 2 seasons just with that fire and the drive to continue and keep getting better. And the steps that we made in between those years, yeah, as he said, we wouldn't have had the same type of team, the same caliber team we had 2015 if not for losing some of those games. And you need that sometimes, but you never want to admit it, but you need it.
Yeah, it's interesting, you know, because there's almost like, you know, Jack Cruikshank texted me when the season got called off, and he goes, no, I feel so bad for you guys. And, you know, I think there's collective pain this program feels during this time for the 2020 guys, but there's never that sense of urgency that's more apparent when guys are seniors. And I've had a hard time getting it out of people when they're sophomores and juniors. And I don't think people quite realize it till it's that last hurrah and the last thing they're doing at high school. And we're fortunate. And, you know, every senior class that we've had since these guys that's been kind of senior heavy has, you know, played for a state title like 2015, 2016, 2018. And, you know, I feel so bad for these 2020 guys because they kind of, you know, we took our medicine last year and they had a similar off season to these guys had. And I've never seen anyone kind of work as hard as these guys since then. And these 2020 guys kind of matched it. So for this thing to happen, now you really feel for our 8 seniors that we have.